You know, I find it quite queer that these two Jewish guys, right, in the late 1930s, would come up with a character that would have a Jewish name, Kael, right? And that Jewish name would mean voice of God, okay? Voice, a voice, right, of God. And then be given another name, which is actually the secret name, right? You see, in the movies and right, we always hear that, you know, um, um, you know, everybody knows who Superman is, right? They know who Superman is, right? But they don't know his true identity. See? And his true identity, right? Right? His name is Clark Kent. Now, I didn't put here the etymological breakdown of the word Kent. Okay, you can do that yourselves. But Kent, right? Kent, it refers to knowledge. Okay, or knowing. Okay, science. Okay, science. Um, um, and remember, um, he is, well, his people, right, are scientists. Okay, his planet Krypton, right? The people of Krypton, they were scientists. All right, and you know, they blew their shit up. They blew their planet up. Okay, so you know, they had to send him out. Right, the only surviving uh, person or species of Krypton. You know, yeah. But yeah, so his hidden name. Okay, his hidden identity is Clark. And Clark is referring to clergy. Okay, a clerk, right? A person, right, that deals in keeping the records, the historical records, the writings, the books. A person or the people who are in charge, in publishing or putting out information, you know, and they have the ability to rewrite history, to change the words. See? That's why I put at the top here, right? J-E-U, not J-E-W. And remember now, you know, before there was a W, the letter W, it was the letter U. Okay? Things were not spelled back in the day with a W. They were spelled with a U. Okay? And this is another trick. See, this is another etymological trick that they do to hide information. Okay? Because that's what these clergy, these people, right? These JEU organizations do. They hide information, right? For the control of the minds of the people. They right, control, or they have the need to control media, public media. You know what I'm saying? They need to control the media because, once they, because the media, the minds, the words, the teachings, the sounds, the voice, they need to control the different voices, the popular voices, like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, because regardless of who these people are, personally, they control or they have the ability to have great influence over the minds and the emotions of the people. See? They have that captive power. See? So these, organizations, these news, these writers, these clergymen, these clerks, these people of words, see? Because the words control the mind. What you write in books, what you say on television and movies and all these different forms of media. See? And I was saying, I find it very queer that these two Jewish guys would make a character, right, and give it a name, right, meaning voice, the voice of God, and then another name, right, which they say is a secret name, referring to a clergyman, a person that deals with words, writings, you know what I'm saying, history books, the clerk, and then me knowing that, it was never J-E-W. It was always J-E-U and J-E-U, right? See? Are the people, the clergy, the clerks, the clocks. You know what I'm saying? These are the people who play on words. See? Literally, French. See French here? French, F-R, French, literally. Right? Play of intelligence. See? These are the people who play on our intelligence. See? They play these emotional games to win your favor. You know what I'm saying? See? But these are the people who are writing the books and have always been writing the books. These are people that have always been involved and always have been in control of propaganda stories. It goes way back. See? I mean, when you read up on these two guys, okay, you find out that the Superman character was a propaganda move. See? It was done, see? That's what they it's just like, it's the same thing as, back in the day, I guess they still do it, but I haven't seen a newspaper in a while, but But yeah, they used to draw comics when they, a certain event would happen, like a war or some kind of political thing was going on, whatever. They would have the newspapers would have comics. They would draw cartoons and tell stories like that. See, so it's always been like that. It's always different. You would have writers and artists. They would draw characters, and they would have put stories behind it. So it's always been this way. So this is what Superman actually was, and it still is. It's a propaganda movement. See, now when you know it like that, now it can help you when you ask, well, what is the propaganda about? See, and you see it already. You see it already. So this is the same thing that's going on today. See? These people, right, their goal is to control the minds of so-called the American people. Superman, I came here to fight for justice, truth, and the American way. Justice, truth, and the American way. And you notice how the three colors, right, the red, the blue, and yellow. See, the American way. Think about the American flag, right? That you see in the White House, right? It's red, blue, and yellow. You see these things in the courthouse, right? You see the flags like that in the courthouse. See, in common public places, you don't see the flag with the yellow. See, but in courtrooms and like government buildings or what have you, you see it with the yellow. Now you got to go find out why. Okay, but see, the yellow, the American way. See, but yeah, the people, they cleverly play on words. They change the words around to control the people. They change history. And they manipulate people through words. See? With witty phrases and, see? Various pieces of writings. See? And it's a joke. It's a joke. See? It's a joke. Jewel. See, you always thought jewel was some type of stuff you wear around your neck or on your fingers. No, jewel. It means joke. See? And how do you know this? See, look at this. Look, it's all connected here with J-E-U. See? J-E-U. You can take it back to the Latin. See? Latin, see? See? See the connection? Look, watch. Look, why would, if this was talking about jewelry as something you wear on your fingers or around your neck, why would it be talking about some joke? See? See? Why would this word joke be there? See? See, it's not talking about something you wear on your neck, on your fingers. It's talking about something that comes out your mouth. See? The word joke, it means to speak. See down here? It means to speak. See? And we know, when you speak things, right, we know we also write them down. Right? But speak words. Words. See, words. Again, here, voice. Voice. Kael. Voice. Voice of God. Voice. See? To speak, speaking, voice, speaking. Vocabulary, words, clergy, clerk. The keeper of the books, right? The keeper of the written, see? Things that are written, right? Script, scribe, script, scriptures, documents, the doctrines, see, clergy, clerk, clergy, the clerks are in charge of the documents, the doctrines, the written doctrines. These are the people who have written these doctrines. And I'm going to tell you again, right? It's all a bunch of nonsense. There is no man coming out of the sky nowhere, right? Up there in the clouds somewhere, that created everybody. And it's going to come back to save people one day. See, this is nonsense. They made it all up. The whole biblical story that you read in your books, in the books that these people wrote. See, I want to put it out there so hopefully people would do their research, because it's right there. See, it's right there. But the thing is, it's not like laid out step by step. I'm saying you really have to do your research. You have to dig out. You have to dig this information out. Okay, but it's right there. But see, the problem is once you dig it out, it's all jumbled up. It's just a mess. Okay, but when you dig it out, see, you can begin to put bits and pieces together. And here's the thing, you might not be able to put all of it together, but you'll be able to put enough together to realize that, hey, this is the truth. Okay, and the truth is, these so-called Jews, right, these Zionists, they are the ones that put all this so-called religions together. Okay, all these writings, all this stuff from Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. All of it. These are the people that have wrote these things and put these things into play. So I'm putting it out there like that. See? Wow. Wow. They've been doing this for damn near forever. I mean, look, these two guys here, they go back into what, 1937 or 38, I forget. Right, when they created Superman. They've been doing this for a long time. They've been building up all this propaganda stuff for a long time. See? So, you got Superman, coming from another planet because they blew theirs up. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna, okay, we gotta find us another place to live. Think about it. It's the same story today. We gotta find us another place to live. Let's come to America. Come to planet Earth. And we're gonna claim some shit. And then here's the thing. Here's another part of the propaganda. Right? In the movies, right, it goes like this. It says, what's his name again? His father? Uriel. Uriel. He says, I sent my only begotten son to a people, right? That don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? But my son, Kyle, you can help them, right? You can lead them. You can be, in other words, you can be their God. See? And all throughout the movies, all throughout these Superman movies, look, Superman is portrayed as so-called the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? It's another rewrite, okay, of the Jesus story. See? They even got another movie that they made where he died and then he came back to life. See? It's so crazy, see? But yeah, this is just something for you to think about. I mean, what are the odds? These two Jewish guys create this Superman character, give him a name, right? Or names, right? And one name is means the voice of God, and then the other name, right? Referring to him as being a clergyman, a keeper of the books, the history books, the writings, and then, he was found in the movie. He was found by some farmers, right, somewhere, the Clarks. I mean the Kents, right, the Kents, and they raise him up, right, and when he leaves home, he decides to go to New York to work as a newspaper person, as a news reporter. I'm like, out of all the jobs that I'm saying that they could have made his character take, he's gonna work as a news reporter. See? With the name Clark. Clark, a news person, gonna work at a news place. What are the odds of that? Wow, see? Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't by chance. It was propaganda designed this way. And then the Daily Planet, you're gonna work at a place that has a symbol of a planet, the planet. See? Wow. The planet, the writings, see, the clergy, the clerks that control the planet. You know what I'm saying? The JEU people that control the planet. See? See? And here's another thing too before I go. The words planet and earth are two different things. Okay? The word earth, right, is referring to the development of men, what men have established. When I say men, I don't mean just males. Men was a term referring to people. Okay? So worlds are like the many different news organizations, okay, that we have today. You know, okay, Fox, NBC, Disney, you know, you know, there's thousands, there's hundreds of them. Okay, these are worlds. Okay, these are worlds, and these worlds come and go. These worlds die, and others come up. These are the worlds. See, this is but see, there's a general world that was created by these people. See, so you know, is that world gonna die, or is it gonna get bigger? Is it gonna totally consume the minds of everyone on the planet? Alright, so let me go. Okay, and again, as always, this is our true history, language, and culture.